I almost, I guess, fraudulently, is that the word? Slipped. I was going to say undefeated featherweight Edward Vasquez. You should be undefeated, but obviously this past Saturday night, a couple judges decided to decide that Raymond Ford was the better man in there, and that simply wasn't the case. Edward Vasquez, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Took a few days or like 1 day's rest and 2 days rest, and I'm right back at it, man. Just got done running a few miles and just clearing my head a little bit.
So take us through the fight on Saturday night. I watched the fight. I noticed the first couple rounds, you kind of, maybe kept your distance a little bit, just probably wanted to see what Raymond Ford had. And then once you got in the fight, really maybe the second, third round, I thought it was pretty much you for the rest of the way. Is that how you viewed it? First being inside the ring, and I guess the second part of the question: have you or will you watch this back?
Absolutely, man. I've watched the film already, and yeah, that's exactly how it played out. That was part of the game plan that we came up with in camp. Take a round or two to kind of fill out his speed and if he has any pop, and kind of see what he's doing with his feet. And after about the second round, we figured out that he was just kind of using the same footwork pattern, jabbing, trying to stay on the outside. Didn't like whenever I got in the inside, and by the third round, I found his body. And once we found his body, he started to back up into the ropes a whole lot, and then he would break his base, square up along the ropes, and that's when we take the fight to him, just like we visualized in training camp. And man, I really felt like I won. If we want to be nice, I'd say 7-3, but really 8-2, and that's just I guess that's just the way the business goes. I've seen this happen for many years now. It just to me, I'm just like I'm a loss for words at how these things go unpunished, and how these judges continue to still be able to judge these fights. I don't understand how that how that goes unpunished, man.
What did the fight plan go better? I mean, was the fight easier than you envisioned?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I had great sparring, man. I had great sparring for 6 weeks, and so I definitely thought he was going to have a little bit more pop, maybe even a little bit more speed and accuracy. But really, it was he was hitting a lot of air that night, and he had a slick jab, but it wasn't nothing that I've never seen before. I sparred with guys with a lot more speed than him. Yeah, it was definitely easier than I thought, and I felt like we did everything we needed to do to secure the win, man. Everything we worked on in camp, it literally played out like perfectly, all the way up until I mean, all the play callings that my coach was making worked. Um, Everything he told me to look out for, it worked. All the positioning stuff, everything worked, man. And so I felt like I was able to control more of the fight and do more of what I wanted to do, have more ring generalship. But obviously, the judges or those last two judges saw it another way, man. But it is what it is.
No. What round did it start to kind of creep in your mind? You know what? I got like you were saying, this fight is going the way I envision it. I'm winning this fight. What round did you say? I'm in control of this thing.
I think round three. Round three was definitely where I started to find my rhythm and find an easier way to close the distance. But like I said, the first two rounds that was part of the game plan. We just wanted to see what he was doing with his jab. How what he was doing with his feet. And honestly, if we want to be honest, man, after round one, I kind of already knew what kind of fight this guy was going to bring and what he had, planned. And yeah, easily by round three is when I started to really feel comfortable.
The 10th round, the bell rings to enter the fight. Excuse me, to end the fight. And you go, you shake hands with everyone in your corner, his corner. You shake Ford's hand. Between that time and the Joe Martinez, who I believe was the ring announcer, started his his announcement of the decision. What was going through your mind?
Man, I thought what was going through my mind was, damn, I did this. Like, exactly what I envisioned. I did this, and this is my fight, and like, where's my belt? I told my coach, I was like, "Where's my belt?" This is all me, And I think I looked over to my management. And I told them, it's all me. Like this is all me, man. But
So,
shit,
so stop there. Stop there. Then you heard the two words "and still." Then went through your mind.
I was honestly I was at a loss for words. Like I don't when I first off when I heard the score 98-92, I'm thinking, what the hell? What fight were you watching? Um, I don't want to say it was rigged or anything, but I was just thinking, when I heard and still, I'm thinking like, damn, like they they really can do this. Like they can really take this shit from me. Like after all the hard work you put in, going against someone on their promoter's show on their platform, um, calling it, it's a step up fight for a title or whatever, and they can really take it from you, man. No matter like what, the amount of work you put in or how good you perform, they can really take it from you. So that's what was running through my head. Like, wow, like they really did this shit to me, man. Like I've seen it happen to many fighters, and now I'm one of them.
So then I guess, how quickly did you go back and watch it? Was it like on the plane back? Was it when you got home, or
No, I watched it that same night, man.
that same night? Okay,
Yeah, that same night, and then I watched it on the plane and watched it back. I've already watched it, maybe 20 times. Um,
20, 20?
oh yeah, man. Yeah, I'm a big, I'm a big like student of the game, so I like to, I don't like to just hear what I did good. I like to hear what I did bad. So I like to go in there and break it down and do some film study on it.
I was gonna say watching it 20 times. You must be a real glutton for punishment. I guess watching it that many times.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I want to improve. It was a good performance, but obviously it wasn't good enough. So like, I'm like, damn, what did I do wrong? So I'm just trying to find every flaw that I can, go in and perfect. And if they want to run it back, then I'll come back 10 times better.
So I understand. So after the fight, you're going back towards your locker room, and you happen to run into him in the hallway, and that got a little vociferous, a little loud. What happened there?
No, he was coming back, and I think my dad said something to him like, "Hey, Raymond, you really think you won that fight?" And they didn't like that. They didn't like that we asked him that. Those guys got a lot of ego, man, and a lot of emotion tied to the game. And so, when my dad said that, it kind of ruffled their feathers a little bit. And that's when me and Coach kind of stepped in and started asking him the same thing, like, "Come on, man, like you're out here, but running around like you clearly won the fight. Like you really think you won that?" And he didn't like that, and his coach was just kind of saying, "Don't get mad at the fighter, get mad at the judges, because he knows his own fighter lost. That's why he's saying that." But it's just all a bunch of emotions. At the end, it's like I always say, it's nothing personal. It's just like I said, man. When you work so hard for something, not only me but my team, everybody made sacrifices, and then for them to just snatch it from me like that, on one of the biggest stages of my career so far, it's man, it's really disappointing.
I had your promoter on, and he said that maybe a rematch. Who knows what goes down? Is that something that you want, or he is that something you say? You know what? I beat him. I got nothing left to prove to Raymond Ford or fighting Raymond Ford.
I mean, honestly, I'll fight him. I don't care. I'll fight him again.
Yeah.
The numbers got to be right. All the numbers have to be
Mm.
right, and the logistics have to be right. But at the end of the day, man, I think I beat him. Clear, and I did exactly what I said I was going to do. When we were in the face off at the weigh-ins and we're talking shit to each other, I told him I'm a real dog, and you're going to see. And he's saying you're a bum this and bum that. Well, I went in there and I showed him, that I'm a real dog. I have more dog than him. This is exactly what I said in the lead up to the fight, that I have more dog than him. And I felt like I showed that and I proved that. And he didn't get to do what he wanted to do. So, you know,
Last couple of days, there's been a lot of. I would imagine you've gotten a lot of text, emails, DMs, the whole 9 yards. How has that been? Have you gotten a lot more followers? People know who you are now. People reaching out, patting you on the back, telling you to keep your head up. Is that what's been going on? I'd say the last 48 hours.
oh, yeah, man, I've been getting messages from all around the world. And, I appreciate everyone for, tuning into my career and following me now, and all the messages, saying that I won and keep my head up. I appreciate it all, and I try to read them all. it's funny, you know, I got a lot of messages from guys from New Jersey, which is where he's from, and saying that they were Ray Ford fans going in, and now they're my fans, and they really thought I won. And so, you know, it's always nice, you know, to hear it from other people. But at the end of the day, you know, it's still at the end of the day a damn
And,
loss, you know. And
any fighters reach out to you or anything?
yeah, you know, I mean, no one like, I mean, there's, you know, fighters from all around the world, but no one that really like sticks out, you know. But yeah, man, it's just, you know, I appreciate all the messages. You know, I don't really need any, you know, validation or anything from anyone else. You know, I know what I did, and you know, I went in there and I dominated Ray Ford. And if he wants to run the rematch, I'm down to run the rematch. Tell his promoter to get his money up, and you know, let's make it happen. You know, I'm ready anytime, anywhere.
How long does that sting, last? I mean, I'm sure it stung for a little bit. Maybe it's still stinging a little bit. But how long does that, like, that hurt, that sting? How long did that last before you say to yourself, you know what? Because obviously we're a few days out, and you're acting very, classy and professional about all this. How long does that initial sting last?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It lasted maybe just an hour, you know, in the back in the locker room and all that. And then after, I was just, you know, I pride myself a lot on how hard I worked, you know, before the fight, and then of course how hard I worked during the fight. And so, you know, that's kind of what helps me, you know, keep my, it's like, you know, my dignity. You know, I don't let any of the outcomes, you know, sway that. You know, I have a lot of faith in you know, in what's happening in my career. And so, you know, once I was able to get back into the locker room, relax, shower, and you know, clear my head a little bit, I just kind of put it past me. I couldn't waste any more energy on it. You know, I know that if I were to continue to think about it and complain, that, you know, it would just mess up my headspace. And I did what I needed to do, so I'm not going to let it ruin my headspace. You know, I don't do this for the glory. I do this because I love to fight. You know, and I love to, you know, whoop on people. And so I made that happen. And you know, and I feel like I have no reason to be down. You know, and so. Like I said, it's just probably about an hour, and my family, even my mom, my girlfriend, they were all like, "Wow, you're taking this, you know, really well." And it's, you know, and like I said, it just I did everything I could in training. I did everything I could in the fight, and there's nothing more. You know, I don't have to waste energy on a bullshit decision. You know, it's just I got to keep moving forward, and it's all about the next move for me.
Have you been back in the gym at least for an hour just to maybe work up a sweat, or is that coming soon?
Today's my first day. You know, back on it. I took a 2 day rest, and I just hit a 6 mile run, and tonight I do plan on going to the gym. And so, you know, just little by little we'll get back into it. I think I'll probably wait like a week or two to start sparring again, and then, you know, I'll be waiting on that phone call. Yeah, I'm ready all year long, man. You know, I'll fight anybody. I'm all about taking the tough fights. You know, I never had the easy route in the professional game, and so I'm willing to fight anybody, man. I think I put the 126-pound weight class on notice, and hopefully they'll be calling me for these bigger names, bigger fights. You know, any platform, anywhere, anytime. You know, give my manager a call.
Yeah, that actually, leads into my next question. I mean, I know, in my opinion, it did, but you feel that your stock was raised tremendously in that fight on Saturday night?
Absolutely. You know, I definitely put the world on notice, and the fans know. I'm sure promotions know, matchmakers know. They know who I am now, and they know, you know, I come to fight. And you know, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about for me. I'm here to, you know, provide the fans with, you know, with good quality fights, action-packed fights, Mexican style. You know, that's what they love to see, and that's what I'm here for, man. And I think the people are finally buying in.
I asked John this earlier. I'm interested to get your opinion. Everything being equal, the numbers being equal, everything, whether it be in fight someone else for a regional bout and a shot at the top 10, or the rematch with Ray Ford. Is there a preference, or just whatever you think makes the most sense for you?
Man, you know, I would love to run that back with Ray Ford. Um, like I said, the numbers have to be right. I mean, at the end of the day, I really don't need Ray Ford, but I feel like there's so much, it got so much attention, man, and people want to see this they want to see the right outcome. So if that means us fighting again, then let's fight again. But if there's a bigger opportunity out there for another name and top 10 in the world, then hey, let's run it, man. Like I said before, man, I'm game to fight anybody. I'm in this for the tough fights, for the legacy fights, and I'm not going to turn anyone down.
I mentioned John, Arizona. It's a beautiful place. We were talking about the weather. You were sitting outside. We were talking about the weather before we went on. Beautiful place, Arizona. You're not in a hurry to go back there, though, are you?
No, man. I mean, honestly, if I would love to fight here on a DAZN card here in DFW. I don't know if they're ever going to bring one here, or if they're going to bring one here soon. But I would love to fight here, man. I love to fight Ray Ford here in my backyard. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I know it's a little quick, but about an hour ago they just announced a huge card for Dallas. So, maybe we'll see one of those kind of fights. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's Spence card, right? But I
Yeah.
think, but Ray Ford's that's not going to be on the zone, is it?
No. But I'm just saying,
Another name.
just getting on maybe a big platform, but that's in April. So I don't know if that's too close or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned about fighting in Dallas. I was just bringing that up. So when do you ideally want to get back in there?
I think if I could take off, maybe the rest of this, not off, but take it lightly till the end of this month, and then if you give me 6 to 8 weeks of camp, at the end of February, give me 6 to 8 week camp, I'm ready to get back in right after. So you probably see me back in within the next 3 months or so, but that's all up to my management and my promoter. I trust their plan and I trust what they're doing with my career. So I just do my part, man. I just do my part to stay ready, and I answer the phone and sign contracts.
Well, for those few people who haven't reached out to you, how do they get in touch with you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's where I'm active. Eddie Vazquez TX, or you can find me on Facebook. Just type in my name, Edward Vazquez, or even Twitter. Same thing, Eddie Vazquez TX. You guys follow me, shoot me a message. I try to get back to everyone. I try to interact with all my fans, new or old. Try to get back to everyone, and I appreciate all the support. This isn't the end of the kid. You can definitely count on seeing me back in the ring very soon with more action-packed fights. Bringing the fight to these guys and giving you guys, good entertainment.
Well, it might take a little bit longer for you to get back to everyone if you have more fans and more people to get back to. So before it may took a day, it may take 2 or 3 days now.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. I've been flooded with messages, man, ever since that night with friend request messages. It's awesome though, man. It's I'm glad that the fans are actually seeing that there's sometimes the sport can be corrupt, but you gotta there's highs and there's lows, and it all balances out, and I love this game, man. I ain't going anywhere.
Well, Edward, you're taking this a lot better than I could. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be pacing up and down still because it just you work that hard for 8-10 weeks, whatever how long that train camp is, and you do everything you're supposed to do except the two judges. I don't know what they were watching. Maybe they were watching Netflix or something during the fight. I have no idea. Edward, thank you for a few minutes of your time. And, when your next fight, gets announced, whatever, we'll have you back.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the opportunity, and just look out. We'll have something working soon.
Our pleasure. Thanks, Edward, and we will talk to you along the way.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. There you have it, Edward Vazquez. On the wrong end of a controversial split decision in Phoenix, Arizona on Saturday night on DAZN to Raymond Ford, a featherweight battle for the WBA, I believe, Continental Championship. As we mentioned, just announced officially, Errol Spence and your Dennis Ugas will get in a unification fight on pay-per-view. I don't know who's distributing it yet, but it'll be a pay-per-view bout live on April 16th from AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Errol Spence trying to start a winning streak for the local athletes there. As we all know, the Dallas Cowboys lost their playoff game in the San Francisco 49ers on that field in that stadium. We'll be back later tonight. We have a couple good interviews lined up. I believe we have super middleweight Damon Nicholson, who will fight on February 19th at the Live Casino, Maryland, take on Gabriel Pham. Also, one of the headliners of the February 18th Showbox Extravaganza in Orlando, Florida. Nahir Albright will be on at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So until then, this is Mark